why did God create anything? That's the first question. Why did God create anything? You have somebody that's you have a thing that's all has everything. What do you say?
He's got it going on. Hashem's got it going on.
He's omnipotent and omniscient. I don't know what those mean.
All powerful, all knowing.
Right. He's everything. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't take up any space. Right. But there's and there is no space yet. There is no concept of space. God does not take up space, but space doesn't even exist. Time and space are elements that God created himself. So prior to the time that he even created anything, we're talking about the fact that there never even was a universe. You have to erase everything. There's no universe, there's no time and space, there's this God which doesn't take up any molecules or atoms. So it's like, okay, and he is everything. And he doesn't need anything other than himself. Right? He doesn't need anything.
Yeah.
So why create anything? Is this just like a big, is he like on drugs and he just likes to be entertained? So he created this universe? I mean, what's going on? So it's brought down. There's different reasons. Like you're going to go to certain Hasidic groups and you'll get like a different answer than you will from like a Rav Miller. But I'm just going to say like a general thing that's based on everything that I've learned. And so I'm not going to point to any one place, because I've learned a lot of Hasidus and I learned a lot of stuff from Rabbi Miller and I've learned other places. This is how my composite, and this is what works for me, based on everything I've learned. And you're watching the game.
I'm listening.
Okay. Tell me if I'm boring you.
No.
Okay. Everything that God... There's only one thing that God needed that wasn't fulfilled by himself. And that is that he never had the feeling of nachas. Nachas is a Jewish concept of... that means a pleasure that you derive when somebody else, an entity outside of yourself, does something on its own free will that brings you personal pleasure for seeing them choose to do a certain thing. This can be, the easiest one to understand is when a parent has a child and they tell the child, we want you to do X, Y, Z, and the child has free will and can do XYZ or not do XYZ, and they choose to do XYZ. When the child does it, they feel a certain nachas, a certain happiness, if you will, fulfillment. It brings them, wow, they did what we wanted them to do, and they feel good about it. Okay? It doesn't have to be the parent one. It could be, you're watching football. It could be a football coach. Football coach standing on the sideline, right? By the way, the Chargers are never going to go anywhere because their coach is terrible.
Don't
even get me started on him. He is I looked up the word mediocrity in
his picture.
In Wikipedia. It had Norv Turner looking down on the sideline. What am I saying? That a football coach teaches his kids, his players to do a certain thing, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe you're a soccer coach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The woman I went on that date, remember I told you she was a soccer coach?
Vaguely.
Yeah, okay, she's a soccer coach, and she always posts on Facebook about her team, these little girls are playing, right?
You went on a date. When was this?
For that wedding!
Oh, she was smoking.
Right, her, right?
She can coach me anytime.
So she always posts on her Facebook news thing, on her status, that, her and her, 9-year-old girls who she's teaching, and I can tell she's getting great, what's called nachas from them. Yeah. Because she's telling them to do a certain thing, and you ever watch 9-year-olds play? It's wherever the ball is, there's usually 11 kids around the ball. It's terrible, right? Yeah. So whatever, she tells them, don't all stand by the ball, and they spread out, and you tell them and they do what you want them to do, it brings you nachas. Because they have free will.
Yeah.
And they did it anyways. Okay, so that is what God wanted. God wanted the feeling of having something outside of himself that he doesn't control do what it is that he wanted them to do. Now, to set that up in a grand way, he needed the following basics. He needed something else. He needed somebody, or a thing, a person, or something, right? Person doesn't even exist yet. But he needs a being that he does not control. So there's got to be now a being. Number two is, how is he not going to control it? So the answer is going to create a thing called free will. It is brought down. I believe it's the Rambam, or is it the Gemara? I don't remember. Or did I learn this in Chassidus? It's somewhere I read it, that the biggest miracle that God ever created is not splitting, the Sea of Reeds. Big deal, right? Not burning bush. Not coming down and talking to the Jews at Sinai. This is nothing. Creating free will is something that is a huge miracle. Because think about it. God creates he controls everything. He's omnipotent.
Yeah.
He's omnipotent. Powerful. He's everywhere. He creates omniscient. I don't know how to say.
Yeah.
And he's going to create something that he doesn't control. He's going to hand the keys over, right, and say, I don't have anything to do with this. It's like you lock yourself out of your house. You take your keys and you throw them in the house and you lock the door and you can't get back in. There's nothing you can do. You can bang on the outside. You cannot get back in your own house. And that's what God did. He created free will, which is outside of himself, right? He lost control of it, right? And he said, okay, now I have two things. I have the outside being, which is, I'm going to create. I need to have some people. I have the free will set up. They're going to have free will to do the right thing or the wrong thing. Now all I need is a rule book.
Yeah.
I need a rule book of what they're going to have to follow. And he came up with the Torah, the 613 mitzvahs. This is what's going on. He's going to go, okay, I'm going to write these down, and these are going to be the rule book, and the creature is going to have to follow these, and the free will is going to be, they have the choice to or not. Now, the next thing he has to do is give them temptations, right? Mm-hmm. The things to draw them either way. So he's going to say, what's going to make them feel good is they're going to want to serve me and connect to me and do what I want them to do. That's called the Yetzer Tov, the good inclination. But at the same time, I'm going to make it really tempting for them not to follow. I'm going to send really good-looking women down there and make it really a fight and a struggle to want to maintain, running around with a beard, show me your socks, right? And I'm going to make it really tempting for them. I'm going to create porn sites, and, and that'll be the Yetzer Hara, that'll be the evil inclination, and it'll try to pull at them to keep them from following the right thing. And I need a playing field where this is all going to go down.
Right.
How is this all going to play out? And he came up with the idea of the universe. The universe is not a big deal. Creating the universe is small potatoes compared to creating the free will part. Mm-hmm. That is, okay, so he came up and he just thought of the universe and he created it in that length of time. People go, Big Bang. You want to know something? Big Bang is not far from how long it took God to do this whole thing. The only difference is God completed it at the same time. Because the Big Bang is, things start to create and stuff.
Yeah.
God didn't need that. He just thought about it all and just blew it all out, right? The truth is, and Rabbi Miller talks about this a lot, we don't actually exist. We are just figments of God's imagination. That all of this is really happening, if you will, if God had a head, that inside God's brain, he's daydreaming, and what surrounds his head, if you will, what's in his brain is like inside like a universe. And he's got like planets in the distance and everything, and he just like puts them there. Okay, and like, okay, that one's over there. And then, okay, let's make it look billions of years old. Because he's thinking about things. And then he dreams up people.
Yeah. The
people concept. And he puts people into his painting, into his mind. And he thinks about people. And there they go. Now we have people. And you ask the question to get back into all this.
Why are there Jews?
Why are the Jews? Because somebody's going to have to follow his set of rules.
Right.
And the Jews are going to be those people. Now, who are going to become the Jews is the question. So he played a little game. And he created one guy. And he said, okay, go. But he's not ready to give this guy the whole Torah. He's not ready to give this guy the whole Torah. Because this guy failed the first mitzvah that he had. This guy was not capable. Adam was not capable. Because the first mitzvah, first test he had, he failed.
Didn't eat from that tree.
Yeah, and he failed. So it's brought down in the Gemara that had he not failed